I am still trying to process what I just watched, and honestly, my blood is absolutely boiling. My mind is completely blown, and I just need to vent about this because I know I am not the only one screaming at my television screen today. Can we please talk about the absolute train wreck that just happened in Catherine Cat Richardson's hospital room? I have been following this show for years, and I have seen some incredibly toxic family dynamics. But what Chelsea Hamilton just did to her own cousin crosses a line that I didn't even know existed. I am so incredibly frustrated, conflicted, and just plain angry at how this entire situation unfolded. Let me set the stage for you guys because the emotional whiplash of this episode is giving me a headache. Kat is lying in her hospital bed, literally recovering from a massive, life-threatening liver transplant surgery. She gave up a piece of her own body to save Eva Thomas, her half-sister, the very same girl she has despised for ages. She is physically broken, vulnerable, and exhausted. And on top of all that physical trauma, she just received the devastating news that her highly anticipated romantic trip to Puerto Rico with her brand new fiance, Tomas Navarro, has to be canceled. Her health is declining, her body needs to heal, and she simply cannot travel. My heart broke for her in that moment. She looked so utterly crushed. She just wanted one good thing, one romantic escape after surviving a literal tornado and a brutal surgery. Is that too much to ask? But of course, in the world of Beyond the Gates, nobody is allowed to rest in peace. Enter Chelsea Hamilton. Now, I have always loved the bond between Kat and Chelsea. They have been like real sisters, always having each other's backs against the haters. But today, Chelsea walked into that hospital room and chose absolute violence. Instead of comforting her heartbroken cousin, Chelsea decides this is the perfect moment to plant the most toxic, poisonous seed of doubt I have ever witnessed. She actually looks Kat in the eye and suggests that Tomas might want to go to Puerto Rico alone, not for business, but to secretly meet up with Eva. Are you serious, Chelsea? I literally threw my hands up in the air. How could you say that to someone hooked up to IVs? Let's just pause right here and unpack the sheer audacity of Chelsea's accusation. Yes, we all know the dark history. We all know that Tomas cheated on Kat with Eva in the past. It was a massive betrayal, it was disgusting, and it took Kat a very long time to even look at Tomas again. But bringing that up right now, when Kat is at her absolute weakest, it felt so incredibly calculated and cruel. Chelsea didn't just bring up the past, she weaponized it to break Kat's spirit. She used Tomas's past mistakes as definitive proof that his nature can never change, basically telling Kat that she is a fool for trusting him. Is anyone else with me on this? Because I feel like Chelsea was projecting some serious insecurities here. Kat, bless her heart, immediately goes on the defensive, and I do not blame her one bit. She loves Tomas, and he just proposed to her. She wants to believe in this fairy tale. Kat fiercely defends her fiance, insisting that he has changed, that his love is real, and that the past is the past. But Chelsea just will not let it go. She keeps pushing and pushing, digging the knife deeper into Kat's insecurities. And then Kat delivers what might be the greatest clapback in the history of this show. I was literally cheering in my living room. Kat looks right at Chelsea and furiously questions why Chelsea is universally supported and applauded for proposing to Doctor Madison Montgomery, while Kat is treated like a blind, naive idiot for accepting Tomas's ring. Boom. Yes, Kat. Go off. Let's talk about the glaring hypocrisy here, guys. Chelsea faced massive family opposition when it came to her relationship with Madison. People judged her. People doubted them. But Chelsea fought for her love and demanded respect. But the second Kat tries to do the exact same thing, Chelsea appoints herself the judge, jury, and executioner of Kat's love life. Kat points out this double standard with so much raw anger, and you could see the shock on Chelsea's face. Kat is absolutely right. Why does Chelsea get to be the romantic hero defying the odds, but Kat is just a pathetic victim falling for a cheater? The hypocrisy is actually blinding, and I am so glad Kat did not hold back. But guys, Chelsea's counterattack was absolutely brutal. Instead of backing down, Chelsea goes for the jugular. She looks at Kat and tells her that Tomas is only proposing out of guilt. She claims this is a forced, rushed marriage because Tomas is desperate to make up for his past mistakes, and he is just taking advantage of Kat while she is at her most vulnerable. Ouch. That was a low blow. It was a gut punch. And the worst part? A tiny, annoying part of my brain wonders, is Chelsea entirely wrong? I mean, think about it. Tomas literally proposed right after watching Kat almost die in a hospital bed. Is it true love or is it a trauma response? Is he marrying her because he loves her or because he is terrified of losing her and feels guilty for how he treated her in the past? I am so conflicted. I want to believe in Tomas and Kat, but Chelsea's words are so venomous because they contain a tiny shred of plausibility. But regardless of whether Chelsea's theory is right or wrong, the way she delivered it was completely unacceptable. You do not corner a post-op transplant patient and scream at them about their flawed relationship. The argument in that hospital room escalated so quickly, it was terrifying to watch. They were screaming at each other, tears streaming down their faces, and the tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. And this brings me to the most stressful part of the entire episode. As the argument gets more and more heated, you can physically see Kat deteriorating. Her breathing gets heavy, her monitors start beeping, and she is clutching her side. Her surgical wounds. I was literally screaming at my television, Chelsea, you are going to kill her. Stop yelling. Kat just had her abdomen sliced open to give away a piece of her liver. Any sudden movements, any extreme stress, or elevated blood pressure could literally cause her stitches to tear open. The medical danger in this scene was off the charts. I was sitting on the edge of my seat, terrified that Kat was going to start bleeding out right there in the bed just because Chelsea couldn't keep her opinions to herself for one more week. Kat is fighting for her life, fighting for her relationship, and fighting against her own cousin. She firmly asserts that her love for Tomas is bigger than his past mistakes. She is choosing to forgive him. She is choosing to move forward. And Chelsea just stands there looking at her like she is a complete tragedy, terrified that her cousin is rushing headfirst into a disastrous marriage with a known cheater. The absolute tragedy of this scene is that both of these women think they are doing the right thing. Chelsea genuinely believes she is saving Kat from a lifetime of misery, and Kat genuinely believes she is defending her true love from a bitter, judgmental hypocrite. The climax of this scene literally gave me chills. Kat, with whatever strength she has left in her battered body, looks at Chelsea with pure, unadulterated rage and heartbreak. The cousin bond that has survived so much drama, so many family secrets, and so many storms officially shatters into a million pieces. Kat demands that Chelsea stop interfering in her private life and orders her to get out of her hospital room immediately. Get out! The way her voice cracked. Oh my God. I had tears in my eyes. Kat is choosing Tomas. She is choosing her future, even if it is a mistake, and she is entirely cutting Chelsea out in that moment. I feel like I have been run over by a truck after watching this. I am so emotionally drained. What does this mean for the Richardson and Hamilton families? This is not just a little disagreement. This is a foundational crack in their relationship. Kat will never forget the things Chelsea said to her today. She will never forget that in her moment of deepest physical and emotional vulnerability, Chelsea chose to attack her fiancé and belittle her choices. And Chelsea will never forget being kicked out and treated like an enemy just for trying to protect her blood. And let's not forget the invisible ghost in the room, Ava. Eva is literally recovering in another room down the hall, completely unaware that her mere existence is tearing Kat and Chelsea apart. The fact that Tomas and Eva's past affair is still causing this much destruction proves that the trauma is nowhere near healed. Kat might say she is over it. She might say her love is bigger than the past. But the fact that Chelsea could trigger her so easily shows that the insecurity is still buried deep inside Kat's heart. Will Tomas actually go to Puerto Rico alone? If he does, will he run into Eva? If that happens, I swear I will riot. I am so mad at Chelsea for her timing, but I am also terrified for Kat. What if Chelsea is right? What if Tomas is just proposing out of guilt? What if this entire marriage is a sham built on trauma and regret? Kat has already sacrificed her body for this family. She cannot sacrifice her heart too. She deserves to be a priority, not an obligation. But right now, she is pushing away the one person who might actually be looking out for her, even if Chelsea's methods were absolutely atrocious. I need to know what you guys think because my brain is spinning in circles. Whose side are you on? Are you Team Kat, defending her right to love and forgive without being judged? Or are you Team Chelsea, believing that Tomas is a walking red flag and Kat needs a harsh reality check before she walks down the aisle? Do you think Kat's surgical wounds are going to suffer from this massive panic attack? Please, please flood the comments with your thoughts, theories, and rants because I need to talk to people who understand this madness. I will be watching the next episode like a hawk, praying that Kat doesn't end up back in the operating room because of this ridiculous fight. Thank you all so much for letting me rant and vent my frustrations today. This show is taking years off my life, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on all this Fairmont Crest drama. Stay safe, stay out of toxic arguments, and I will see you guys in the next review.